I am a sociopath who was reborn as the tragic heroine of a romance novel. I won't follow the script. I died because someone pushed me. I remember the feeling of falling from the rooftop, the cold wind against my skin, and the terrified scream of the man who did it. I didn't scream. I never did. People called me many things during my life. Monster, psychopath, sociopath. I preferred practical. I simply didn't understand why everyone cared so much about emotions. Love, guilt, sympathy. They were inefficient. I lived my entire life treating people like pieces on a chessboard. Some pieces were useful, others weren't. Then I died. And when I opened my eyes again, I was lying on a soft bed with pink curtains. A maid was crying beside me. "Miss Eveline, thank goodness you've awakened." I blinked. Who was Eveline? Memories flooded my head. I almost laughed. I had been reborn inside a romance novel I had once read because a co-worker forced me to. I was now Eveline Ashford, the tragic heroine. A foolish, kind-hearted, noble lady. The woman who was destined to suffer. Her fiancé would betray her. Her family would use her. Her best friend would poison her. And in the end, she would die in the rain while the male lead regretted everything. What a ridiculous story. I sat up. The maid smiled through her tears. "Miss, everyone was worried about you." I looked at her. She looked at me. Then I smiled. Not because I was happy, but because I had realized something. I knew every single person who was going to hurt me. I knew their secrets. I knew their weaknesses. And unlike the original Eveline, I had absolutely no problem killing people. The first villain was my fiancé, Duke Adrian Beaumont. Handsome, charismatic, and utterly pathetic. In the novel, he kept Eveline around because of her family's wealth while secretly sleeping with her cousin. He would eventually frame Eveline for treason and have her executed. As I watched him enter the drawing room, I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, only curiosity. This man was supposed to ruin my life. He looked rather ordinary. "Eveline," he said warmly, "I heard you fainted." I was worried. Leah, he was worried that his source of money might die. I smiled sweetly. "How kind of you." He sat beside me. "I've missed you." No, he hadn't. He had spent the entire evening with my cousin. I knew because the novel said so. And because there was lipstick on his collar. How careless. I poured him tea. I stirred it slowly. Then I slipped a tiny amount of sleeping powder into the cup. Not poison. Not yet. He drank it. 5 minutes later, he collapsed. I dragged him into a carriage. The guards never questioned me. I was his fiancée, after all. I took him to an abandoned hunting cabin. Then I chained him to a chair. When he woke up, he looked terrified. "Eveline." I sat in front of him. "You were planning to kill me eventually." "What?" "You and my cousin have been plotting for years." His face turned white. Interesting. The novel had been correct. I don't know what you're talking about." I smiled. "You know, I spent my previous life studying people." I leaned closer. "And every liar has the same eyes." He started sweating. I took out a knife. He began screaming. I listened. People often thought screams would make me uncomfortable. They didn't. They were just sounds. "Please, I'll break off the engagement. I'll leave." I tilted my head. Why would I let him? If I allowed him to live, he would simply become a problem later. That was inefficient. So I killed him. Quickly. Cleanly. Then I burned the cabin. The next morning, everyone believed the Duke had died in a tragic accident. I attended his funeral. And I smiled. The second villain was my cousin, Lady Sophia. The woman who pretended to be my best friend. The woman who would eventually poison me. She came to comfort me. "I'm so sorry about Adrian." No, she wasn't. She was delighted. I invited her to tea. She accepted immediately. She was greedy. Greedy people were easy to manipulate. I served her cake. She ate happily. Then I said, "Did you know Adrian died with your love letters in his pocket?" She froze. Interesting. So everyone will eventually discover your affair. She looked horrified. I smiled. Then I placed a bottle of poison on the table. You have two choices. What? Drink this and die quietly. She stared at me. You're insane. Perhaps. I took out several letters. The letters proving she had stolen money from my family. The letters proving she had plotted murder. If I expose these, you'll be executed. Tears filled her eyes. I waited. Finally, she drank the poison. 5 minutes later, she died. I called the servants. My poor cousin, I said sadly. She must have been overwhelmed with grief. Everyone believed me. Why wouldn't they? I had the reputation of a gentle heroine. No one suspects the kind girl. The novel's story completely collapsed. The villains were disappearing. The original male lead hadn't even met me yet. Then one evening I encountered him. Prince Lucien. The man who was supposed to save me. He stared at me for a long time. You don't look like someone grieving. I looked back. And you don't look like someone who enjoys parties. Silence. Then he smiled. Interesting. Most people were easy to read. He wasn't. You've changed, Lady Eveline. Have we met before? No. Then how would you know? His smile widened. Because your eyes look empty. I almost laughed. For the first time since my rebirth, someone had noticed. Everyone else saw a tragic heroine. He saw something else. A predator. You should be careful, Your Highness, I said softly. Why? Curiosity kills people. He smiled again. I'll take that risk. There was one villain left. My father. The original story's hidden mastermind. He had sold Eveline to powerful men. He had ordered her death. He had caused every tragedy. One night, I confronted him in his study. He looked annoyed. What do you want? I know everything. He laughed. Then what? You're just a woman. I walked closer. I know about the debts. His face changed. I know about the murders. Silence. And I know you killed Mother. His hand trembled. Then he smiled. A cold, ugly smile. So what? Interesting. He wasn't even ashamed. You were always useless, he said. Your mother was weak. I simply removed obstacles. I nodded. I see. He looked confused. Aren't you angry? No. I pulled out a knife. But I don't like obstacles either. For the first time. He looked afraid. I killed him. Then I sat quietly in his study. I felt nothing. No satisfaction. No guilt. Just silence. Months later, people called me the miraculous survivor. The tragic heroine who had lost everyone. The noble lady who endured so much. If only they knew. Prince Lucien approached me in the palace garden. Are you happy now? I considered the question. Happy? I didn't understand happiness. I achieved my goals. He laughed softly. That's the most terrifying answer I've ever heard. I looked at him. Are you afraid of me? He thought for a moment. Perhaps. Then why stay? He smiled. Because unlike everyone else, you never pretend to be good. I looked at the sunset. Maybe he was right. I wasn't a heroine. I wasn't a villain. I was simply a person who refused to follow a script written for her. The novel wanted me to die. Instead, I became the monster that hunted the monsters first.